Hi guys, so now we're going to be focusing on question 5. If you don't know what we're doing a past paper of June for 2022. All the questions from question 1 all the way up to the end are in the description of this video. Please check them out. Anyways, let's start by solving this question here. So what we have here is a hyperbola, right? This is an equation of a hyperbola. We don't have the value of p, we don't have the value of a, we don't have the value of q, right? And we're given this information here where we are given the domain of the function, we are given the x-intercept and the y-intercept of the function. And then in 5.1, we are asked to show that the equation of the hyperbola is this one here, right? So the first thing you're going to do is you have your g of x being equals to a over x plus p plus q, right? And what we can take from the information given, this information here, is that we are told that this is a domain. X is not equals to minus 2, right? So this tells you that your asymptote is actually minus 2, right? So if you write to your g of x, you're going to have a over x plus 2 plus q, right? Because this minus 2, when you take it that side, is going to be x plus 2 equals to 0, right? So now you are having your p, right? You just need your value of a and your value of q, right? So to find the value of a and the value of q, you need to use the x-intercept and the y-intercept that are given, right? So we're given the x-intercept of k, which is 1 and 0. So you're just going to substitute it into the equation. So where there's y, you put 0. Where there's x, you put 1, right? So 0 is equals to a over 1 plus 2 is plus, actually, this is plus q, right? And here you're just going to get 0 is equals to a over 3 plus q. This is going to be your equation 1, right? So let me separate this. And then now, in the same g of x, you're going to substitute your y-intercept. Your y-intercept in this case is n, which is 0 and minus 1 over 2, right? So where there's y, you're going to put minus 1 over 2 is equals to a over, where there's x, you put 0, so 0 plus 2 plus q. So you're going to have minus 1 over 2 is equals to a over 2 plus q. Let's say this is your equation 2. Now you're going to solve simultaneously using equation 1 and equation 2, right? So I'm just going to form equation 3 and say q, I'm just going to use the first one, right? Q is equals to minus a over 3. So I used this equation 1 here to form equation 3. So this is going to be equation 3, right? So it's minus a over 3. And then I'm going to substitute equation 3 into equation 2. So I have minus 1 over 2 is equals to a over 2. So I'm using this equation here. And then plus, so instead of writing this q here, I'm going to write down this equation 3, which is minus a over 3, right? So it's going to be minus 1 over 2 is equal to, so please punch through your calculator, 1 over 2 minus 1 over 3. What are you getting? So you should get a over 6, right? And then you do your cross multiplication, but you're just going to say a is equals to minus 1 over 2 times 6. You should get your a value being equals to minus 3. So my a value, it's minus 3. What is my q? Q is equals to minus a over 3, but a is minus 3. So it's going to be equals to minus into minus 3 over 3. So my q is equals to 1, right? So now I have my a value and my q value. Then I'll be able to identify the equation of the hyperbola, right? So let me erase this so that I can write it properly. So the equation of the hyperbola is as follows. So my a value is equals to minus 3. My q is equals to 1, right? And my equation was actually equals to a over x plus 2 plus q. So to write down, including this a value and this q value, g of x is equals to my a value, which is minus 3, over x plus 2 plus 1. So I have proven that this g of x is definitely equals to this one here. So yeah, we're done with the 5.1. Now we move to 5.2, right? So 5.2, we are asked to determine the range of G. So what is the range? Remember our G now is equals to minus 3 over x plus 2, right? Plus 1 there, right? To find G, the range rather, the range of G is you're going to say, because the range focuses on the y values. So it's y is the element of real numbers, but y is not equals to 1. This one here, right? So y is not equals to 1. So this would be your range of your hyperbola, right? And then let's go to 5.3. So we're done with 5.2, we're going to 5.3. Determine the equation of H, which is the axis of symmetry of G, in the form of y is equals to mx plus c, where m is greater than 0. So if m is greater than 0, we know that the gradient is equals to 1, basically, it's positive. So y is equals to, instead of writing mx plus c, we know our gradient is m is equals to 1, so it's going to be y is equals to x plus c. And then you use your asymptotes. Looking at this, your vertical asymptote is minus 2. Your horizontal asymptote, which, let me just say y, it's equals to 1. Right? So you're going to use that those coordinates to find the value of c. So it's minus 2 and 1. Right? And you substitute into your equation. So it's going to be 1 is equals to minus 2 plus c, and then you transpose minus 2 to the other side. You have c is equals to 3. Right? So if c is equals to 3, your y is equals to x plus 3. So this is your equation of your axis of symmetry for the equation of H, right? It's the equation of H, basically, right? We're done with 5.3. Now we move on to 5.4. I hope you guys are enjoying. If you are facing any trouble understanding anything, please let me know in the comment section below. Now let's do 5.4. So 5.4, write down the coordinates of K prime, the image of K reflected over H. Remember, H is your axis of symmetry. Don't forget that. So let's do this. Say we are drawing our hyperbola, right? And I'm just going to use this equation here. So my vertical asymptote, it's negative 2, so it's this one here. X being equals to minus 2. My horizontal asymptote, it's 1, so it's this one here. Y is equals to 1, and since my a value is negative, which means my function will be in the second quadrant and the fourth quadrant. But remember, the x intercept, it's 1 and 0, so it's somewhere here, and then the y intercept, it's 0 and minus half, so it's somewhere here. Excuse me. So the graph will look something like this and going there. So what's important is the value of k, right? K prime, k and k prime. So here it's k. Remember, let me just use a different color. So here it's k. This point is for k, which is 1 and 0, right? And you want to identify this k prime, right, which is reflected about the over h. Remember, h, which is the axis of symmetry, it's actually this one here, because it's the positive axis of symmetry, so it's h, right? So if it's reflected, if this k is reflected, it's going to move 4 units, both left and up, right? Because you are reflecting it over this line of h, right? Over it. So instead of it being here, it's going to be over it. It's going to be maybe somewhere here, right? Your k prime, right? So what does that mean? Because why am I saying 4 units? Maybe you should ask yourself. Here it's minus 2, right? From here to here, it's 2 units. And then from here to here, from here to k, it's 1 unit, right? So meaning it takes 3 units to get to the vertical asymptote, right? So if I were to move k in that direction, it would take 3 units to get to the vertical asymptote. But you don't want it to touch the vertical asymptote, so you need to add a unit, 1 unit extra, right? So it's going to be 4 units to the left, right? So meaning my original k, let me write it down. My original k was k into 1 and 0. right? So, but as I'm saying, we're going to need 4 units, as I wrote here. 4 units, meaning here it was 1, but minus 4, right? Minus 4 because it's going in the left-hand side. And then for the y, it was 0. It's going to go up 4 units also. So it's going to go up by 4 units, right? As I said, k, chances are it's going to be somewhere here. K prime, by the way. So it's going to be 0 plus 4 units. So your k prime, let me just write k prime, it's k prime is going to be minus 3 and 4. So these are the coordinates of k prime. So we're done with this question here. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let me know in the comment section below. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. And thank you to those who subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. And don't forget, this video here has all the questions for the past paper, which is the June 2022. So check them out in the description of this video. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Take care.